Hello learners, welcome back to my channel Shraddha's Physics. This is the last part of the complex analysis. So today we will see the third part of the definite integrals. Those who have not seen the part 1 and part 2 video of the definite integrals, I will give it in the description box. Now let us start with Jordan's lemma. Let us consider a semicircle of radius suppose r. Okay. And its center lies at the origin. So let us denote this half circle or this semicircle to be the contour. This is your, suppose the region C, and this radius it varies from minus r to this one is plus r. Okay, this is your plus r. Here we are considering this in the complex plane, that is this axis in the real x axis, and this vertical axis denotes the imaginary y axis. Okay, so what is this Jordan's lemma? It says that if the function f of z, the function that we are defining, this f of z, it means it is a complex number, and the condition is that this function is analytic. It should be analytic in the upper half plane, analytic in upper half plane. So the first is it should be analytic in upper half plane, and the second condition is that this f of z, the second condition is the f of z tends to 0, it tends to 0 uniformly, it tends to 0 uniformly when z tends to 0. Sorry, when z tends to infinity, this is modulus of z tends to infinity, for that condition f of z tends to 0. When our argument of z, when this argument of z, it lies between 0 to pi. This is the second condition. And the third condition is, suppose we will consider any m, that is it should be positive and real number. This should be positive and real number. Then in this case, Jordan lemma says that if this condition satisfies, then the integration over this c, this means c means this upper half plane, c exponential I mz into f of z dz, it will tends to 0. This will tends to 0 when this radius, this value, when r tends to infinity. Are you getting my point? So Jordan lemma says that the first condition is it should be analytic in the upper half plane. Upper half plane means I have denoted this in C. And the second condition is that if this function tends to 0 uniformly, if mod z tends to infinity, or our argument of z, it lies between 0 to pi. And the third condition is that m should be positive and real in nature. If this condition satisfies, then Jordan lemma says that this integration of for the upper half plane exponential I n z f of z dz, it will tends to 0, and the condition is that the r tends to infinity. We are going to apply this lemma in our third type, that we are going to calculate for the definite integral. So let us see for the type 3. So this type 3 means here we are going to see if our limiting value varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, the function should be f of x, and this is the multiplication of f of x with cosine mx dx, or it may be integration over minus infinity to plus infinity f of x into sine mx dx, or it may be the combination of both these two. Okay, here this f of x is a rational function. This f of x is a rational function. So in this case we are going to calculate if the function is of the type this f of x into cosine mx dx or f of x into sine mx dx, this is mx dx, over the limit minus infinity to plus infinity. Then how to calculate this for the complex plane, in the complex plane. Okay, now first let us plot a semicircle. So this is my semicircle having this radius is r. Okay, this upper half plane I am denoting this as c, and this is your imaginary y axis, and this axis denotes your real x axis. Okay, now our aim is to calculate the integration over minus infinity to plus infinity or I can say that here I am taking here for the total contour, suppose c prime, here I am denoting it as c prime exponential imz into f of z dz. I have to calculate this. First of all, I will derive the general expression, that after I will give an example. Okay. So this is suppose I equal to integration over c prime. C prime means here first you have to calculate for the this closed contour c. This is for your upper half plane, this c part, and then again for your this diameter, along this diameter. So I am saying that this is for total contour c prime. Clear? So applying Cauchy's residue theorem, this integration can be written as this will be equal to 2 pi I times sum over the residues over the k. Here I am writing this is your residues for exponential imz. This is exponential imz into f of z at any point. Suppose I am considering, suppose this is your zk point. Zk point means the residue will be at zk point. This zk point, you should note it that this zk point, it is the singular point. This is the singular point which lies in the upper half plane. This lies in the upper half plane. Okay. Now from this integration c prime, I will divide it into two parts. That is this total integration. I can write here this total integration c prime can be splitted into two parts. That is for when first I am writing limit when r tends to infinity. For that case, this integration, this c prime integration will be first from c exponential imz, this is imz into f of z dz plus again the limit r tends to infinity. The integration will varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, and this is again exponential imz iota mz into f of z dz. Okay. Here you can see that in case of this when it varies from plus r to minus r, in this case y component, in this case y component is absent. So here I can just replace this as exponential imz as exponential imx, and this f of z as f of x, and this dz as dx. So this will be exponential imx f of x dx. Since your y component is 0, you can write z as x plus iy. Since here y component is absent, you can replace this z term in terms of x. This is our integration I1. So here from the Jordan's lemma, you know, for this upper half plane, this integration goes to 0. Okay. Now here this tends to 0. Now the remaining term will be this integration I1 will be equal to limit r tends to infinity integration over minus infinity to plus infinity exponential imx into f of x dx. And what is this value? This value is from the Cauchy's residue theorem. This will be 2 pi I times sum over this is residues of, you can see here, this is sum over residues of exponential imz, this is imz f of z at point zk. Okay. From this I have substituted. I will write this equation in the next page. Let me write the integration over minus infinity to plus infinity f of x exponential imx dx. This will be equal to 2 pi I times the sum over residues, that is k over k, residues for f of z at the point zk. Okay. So now this exponential imx, we can split it. This exponential imx can be written as cosine mx plus I sin mx. Okay. This is I sin mx. So if I put this exponential imx term here, so this will be, it can be, I am writing here, this will be minus infinity to plus infinity. This is f of x. Suppose I am writing here cosine mx dx, that will be equal to this is the, here I can write for this cosine mx, it represents the real part of exponential imx, and this iota sin mx, this sin mx part, it denotes the imaginary part of the term. So here in this place, the total value that we are going to evaluate this term after calculation of the residue, whatever we will get, the real part that we will cover, that will be, this is be like real part of 2 pi I times the sum over the residues, that is residue of f of z. Here I have missed the term exponential imz. So this will be residue of exponential imz into f of z at zk point. Okay. Now similarly for minus infinity to plus infinity, this will be f of x sin mx dx, sin mx dx. This will be, it will be for your imaginary part. This will be imaginary part of 2 pi I times the sum over residues, exponential residues of exponential imz f of z at the point zk. Okay. Since this exponential imx term, it can be divided into cosine term and sine term, that is the real part and imaginary part separately. So if I put this exponential imx term here, that is in the form of cos mx and sin mx, so the value that we will get after calculation of the residues, the value that will be that we will get, that will be in the form of some real part and the imaginary part. So the real part, this will be for cosine, when the function is multiplied with the cosine ms ds. If the integration is in this form, then you have to take the real part of the right hand side term or the residues term. And if the question is be like function of x into the sin mx dx, then you have to consider for the imaginary part. Okay. So let us take one example. Suppose our question is, you have to integrate 0 to infinity cosine x dx divided by x square plus a square, you have to solve. Okay. From this expression, you know, this cosine x, you can replace it by some exponential term. If I write this expression as, suppose this is, suppose your integration from 0 to infinity is given, this is suppose exponential imx divided by x square plus a square dx. Okay. Because you know, this exponential imx, you can write it as cosine mx plus I sin mx. Here this is cos x, it means that if I put m as 1, so this will be cos x plus I sin x. So here I am writing exponential ix. Okay. Or this is suppose exponential iz. Whatever you will write, this will be your correct. If I will take this integration from minus infinity to plus infinity, then I can write it as 1 by 2 times of minus infinity to plus infinity exponential ix divided by x square plus a square into dx. I can write like this. So for this total integration, if you can imagine, for this total semicircle, from the Jordan's lemma, for this upper half plane, this integration will goes to 0. If I will convert this minus infinity to plus infinity term into two parts, that is one for this contour, one for this upper half plane, and one for this minus r to plus r when r goes to infinity, then this term will goes to, I am writing here, one is for suppose for the contour c, for the suppose c, exponential ix divided by x square plus a square dx, and one is from plus minus r to plus r exponential ix divided by x square plus a square into dx. Okay. There are two terms for this minus infinity to plus infinity, or for this total contour. Total contour means this c plus your this minus r to plus r. This is your total contour. So for this, from the Jordan's lemma, I can directly put this into 0. Now I have to calculate for this term only. So to calculate for the integration for exponential ix divided by x square plus a square into dx, this will be your 2 pi I into sum over k, and this is your residue you have to calculate. residue of f of z exponential im z, and this is your zk. This is in this form. So let us first try to calculate. This is your 1 by square plus a square, or this is your f of x, and this is your exponential imx, and this is your xk. So suppose this 1 by a square plus a square, I have to put this a square plus a square as 0. So this is suppose x square plus a square equal to 0. It means that x will be equal to, x square will be equal to minus a square, and x will be equal to root over of this minus a square. You know root over of minus 1 is iota. This will be plus or minus. So this will be plus or minus iota into a. So there are two residues, that is one for plus ia and another for minus ia. So from this semicircle, you know I into a term means this is your y-axis component is present and s component is 0. And in case of minus ia, negative of y-axis should be exist. So in this total contour, you can see that some ia point, it should be lies in this upper half plane, but this minus ia point, it should be lies in the lower half plane, or we can neglect this plane because this, it doesn't lies inside this contour. So we have to calculate for this ia term. So since this plus ia term is a simple pole, so let me write this. This will be equal to limit, I am writing for this is for, this is exponential ix divided by x square plus a square. Here I am calculating only the residues, that will be equal to limit z tends to, this is your I into a. For our plus ia we are going to calculate. So this will be limit z tends to ia into z minus ia into total f of z. This total, sorry, this is x tends to ia. Here I am writing x tends to ia, x minus ia into this total f of x. Here this f of x means this exponential ix divided by x square plus is a square. So this will be x tends to ia. This will be x minus ia. In place of f of x, I can write exponential ix divided by this x square plus a square can be written as x minus ia into s plus ia. Since these are the two roots of the equation x square plus a square, I can write this x square plus a square as x minus ia into s plus ia, because if you will multiply these two terms, you will get s square plus a square. So these two terms get cancelled. Then the remaining, if I will put this ia term here, this will be exponential I into I, that will be minus a into x. This will be minus a divided by this ia plus ia, that will be twice of I into a. So now we have calculated for this term. Okay, are you getting my point? Here I am calculated for this term, that is exponential minus a divided by 2 iota a. So here I am writing directly here. Let me just rub this part. So this will be equal to 2 pi iota times into exponential minus a divided by here 2 into iota into a. So 2i get cancelled. This will be pi divided by a into exponential minus a. Okay. So this term we have calculated for minus infinity to plus infinity exponential ix dx divided by x square plus a square. Okay. So now I'll take this into the next page. So our expression is minus infinity to plus infinity exponential ix dx divided by x square plus a square equal to pi by a times exponential minus a. Now you can see that this exponential ix term can be splitted into two parts, that is one real part and one imaginary part. So let me write first minus infinity to plus infinity cosine x dx divided by x square plus a square and plus iota minus infinity to plus infinity sin x dx divided by x square plus a square. Here I have splitted the exponential ix term as cosine x plus I sin x. So that will be equal to pi by a times exponential minus a. Now you can compare this left hand side with the right hand side. Here on the right hand side part, there is no iota term, so I can write it as I into 0 term. Now this is your real part term and this will be your imaginary part term. If the question is like cosine x dx divided by a square plus a square dx over the integration minus infinity to plus infinity, then your answer is going to be pi by a into exponential minus a. If your question is like you have to calculate for minus infinity to plus infinity sin x dx divided by x square plus a square, then your answer will be 0. So if we write this can be written as minus infinity to plus infinity cosine x divided by x square plus a square into ds. If I will compare this with the real term, this will be equal to pi by a times exponential minus a, and the integration over the limit minus infinity to plus infinity sin x divided by a square plus a square into dx, a square plus a square into dx, that will be 0 because this no imaginary part is present here. But our question is, this is our question, you have to calculate for 0 to infinity, integration from 0 to infinity cosine x divided by a square plus a square dx. But here I have multiplied 1 by 2 terms to integrate from minus infinity to plus infinity. So if I will multiply half in this term, I will get from 0 to infinity. So if I multiply half term here, so this will be 0 to infinity twice of 0 to infinity cosine x divided by x square plus a square dx, that will be equal to pi by a times exponential minus a. Okay, and if I divide this two term here, so this will be 0 to infinity integration cosine x divided by x square plus a square dx will be pi by 2a times exponential minus a. So this is our aim. And similarly, if you have to calculate for 0 to infinity, this is already 0. So this sin x divided by x square plus a square dx, this is your 0. But here in this question, you have to calculate for 0 to infinity integration cosine x divided by x square plus a square into dx, and its value will be pi by 2a times exponential minus a. So if I will summarize this question, you can see that if the question is in the form of the fraction form and here this cosine x is present or the sin x is present, then you can split this into the form of, first you have to write in the exponential form, and that after you have to separate the real part and imaginary part, and you have to compare the left hand side term with the right hand side term, and after that if you have taken the integration from minus infinity to plus infinity, then you have to just multiply this 2 into 0 to infinity and you have to calculate the answer. If the question is already in the form of minus infinity to plus infinity, then just try to write the real part of the answer, or if it is given for the imaginary part, then just try to write for the imaginary part. So I am giving you one homework question. Suppose this is integration from 0 to infinity cosine alpha x divided by 1 plus x square whole square into dx. Okay, you have to calculate this. The final answer I am writing here, this will be pi by 4 times, this will be alpha plus 1 into exponential minus alpha. Just try to calculate. This is in the same procedure you have to calculate. Take the exponential term and then try to separate it. Just try to solve it by yourself. Okay. So this is all for today. If you like the video, you can give a like, share and subscribe to my channel. Jai Jagannath.